good evening, everyone. I'm Lauren Kennedy Brady, producing artistic director of Theatre Raleigh. Welcome to our Living Room Live broadcast. As you know, we have created this broadcast so we can keep artists creating and doing their thing. I'm really excited about tonight's show. We have an incredible human being, an incredible artist, singer, actor, director, you name it, mother, wife, extraordinaire. She's incredible. Dear friend and also incredible talent. I cannot wait to have a conversation tonight with Megan McGinnis, and I cannot wait for you to get to hear her sing live here tonight on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a little teaser of what you can expect from tonight's show.
Yes, I'm falling in love with someone, plain to see.
Could she be any more gorgeous, and could her voice be any more gorgeous? I am so excited to share her with you tonight. And we have some really exciting things to talk about later on in our broadcast. But while I have your attention all for myself, I would love to tell you that we are not using these broadcasts as a ticketed event, but we are accepting donations. So if you like what we're doing in the virtual world, if you like our reunion shows and these Living Room Live performances, please donate to theaterraleigh.com so we can keep theater live and alive and well when we come out the other side of this pandemic. So donate to Theatre Raleigh, and also while you're at it, donate to all arts organizations or any organization that you feel compelled to, because everybody in this industry could really use your help right now. But mainly, thank you for joining us tonight and loving theater and wanting to see some live performances directly from my living room to yours. While you're here on YouTube, you can also subscribe right down there below me. You can subscribe to Theatre Raleigh so you don't miss out any of the awesome announcements that we have. We have incredible programming coming up, some exciting announcements we'll be making midweek. And as I announced last week on Living Room Live, we're doing character building, which I'll talk about a little bit more at the end of the show. But subscribe today so you don't miss out on all the cool stuff. Okay, First Citizens is our virtual experience sponsor. There they are. Hi guys, thank you, First Citizens. They are helping us bring these directly to you. So I am so, so grateful. First Citizens Bank, thank you so much. All right, what you've been waiting for, I'm gonna bring her out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read a little bit of her bio because she's incredibly impressive. And when I say 7-time Broadway star, I mean, come on. Megan has just returned home from a year out on the road with Come From Away. Her Broadway credits include Sideshow, The Revival, Stand By for Daisy and Violet. She was in Les Mis, The Revival, as Eponine. Little Women as Beth, Beauty and the Beast as Belle, Thoroughly Modern Millie, The Diary of Anne Frank, and Parade. Megan originated the role of Jerusha Abbott in the two-person musical Daddy Longlegs, playing the role throughout the U.S., in London, Off-Broadway, receiving an Ovation Award, a Jeff nomination, and a What's on Stage nomination for her work. The show was also, by the way, captured live and can currently be seen on BroadwayHD. Her film and TV credits include The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Sister, Sister, Blossom, Anywhere But Here, a Goofy movie. Recordings are Daddy Longlegs, of course, Little Women, Parade, duets with Sutton Foster on her albums called Wish and Take Me to the World. Megan has a BA in English from Columbia University, and she's currently teaching at Ball State University. She made her directorial debut with Daddy Longlegs at Theatre Raleigh. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Megan McGinnis. Hi, girl. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Look at us. We look like Christmas.
I was just thinking
You and
that
I
as
are
I
like-
was watching you.
Holiday spirit, baby.
It's time. It's after Labor Day, so.
I'm ready. You know, Halloween candy's gone out, and like we might as well put trees up. As a matter of fact, I
Yes.
think trees are up at Costco.
I mean, it brings happiness, so why not?
I'm serious. We need a little bit of it right now, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to just start off by saying, as I was reading your bio, recognizing that you're now teaching. You're teaching at Ball State. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Well, I've taught on and off for the last decade or so.
Oh, okay.
Mostly with a company, like a summer camp called Broadway Artist Alliance in New York
of course.
City.
Yep.
As a guest lecturer, master classes, and once the pandemic hit, I sort of started to expand on that. I'm offering my own teaching series now, and then I'm now a guest teacher at Ball State, which is great. It's like, how else can I get to Indiana except on Zoom in this time?
Exactly.
It works out perfectly. Sutton Foster also teaches there, so I met the theater department through her, and they've been trying to get me there for a while, and my schedule it didn't work out until now.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, I feel like as a theater company, we're really able to sort of connect with people in a way that it's harder to, for the very reason you just said. Like, you can't usually go to Indiana for a class here and there,
Yeah.
but when you can Zoom, you can just Zoom right in and be there for the students. That's exciting.
It's been so great because I feel creatively fulfilled, and hopefully I'm bringing something to them, helping them out. It's something I look forward to. I'm teaching the class twice a week at Ball State. I love it so much.
That's fantastic. Listen, I know that you are bringing something to them, because not only have I witnessed you being a director at Daddy Longlegs and teaching and directing very similar, but also you've taught a class for Theatre Raleigh as well, where you
That's
gave
right.
some students some amazing insights.
Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, I'm just going to say, I have heard through the grapevine, my husband off to the side has told me that my picture might be a little fuzzy. So everybody just like, you know, we might be in for a bumpy ride, a bumpy internet ride tonight. So just beware. It's almost like live theater, but not. Anything can happen. We'll see.
Technical difficulties. We're in for the ride.
I'm telling you, something always happens. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
We've come to know and love and embrace it.
Yes, embrace it.
That's embrace. So tell me about your last year touring with Come From Away.
Well,
I mean, it's a general question, but did you have an amazing time, and how was it to be a part of that show?
yes. Many things. First of all, not only was I on the tour, but my husband, Adam Halpin, was also on the tour. So it was such a gift. The two of us did the show together, and we brought along our son, who's now 3.5. He was 19 months old when we left.
Oh my God.
And it was a decision, right? I mean, how exactly were we going to do this? We thought about bringing somebody with us for the whole year, a nanny or sitter or something. Eventually we decided to get babysitters, a new babysitter in every single city.
Wow.
So I had one job, which was to be on stage as Bonnie, and then my other job was to be off stage finding babysitters.
Seriously.
It was great because we visited all these wonderful cities as a family, all these adventures, spending all day with our little boy. And then, yes, we didn't get to be a part of bedtime at night, but that was a very little amount of time, really, in the grand scheme of the day. It was a full year of a lot of family time.
Lots of togetherness in
Yes.
Airbnbs and hotels across the country, I'm
Yes.
sure.
And then the other aspect was getting to do this incredibly special show. I'd always admired it. I loved it when I saw it in previews. To be able to deliver that message across the country was a gift to me.
Yeah.
The idea that it is so easy to be kind. It is so easy to think of other people first. And you know what? In the end, that makes you feel good as well.
Yeah. I mean, I loved that show so much. It was 100% not underrated at all. I think it had such a great following, and people really responded to it. But I was, though, so surprised when I saw it. I don't know why. I just was bowled over, and I was in tears the entire time. I think what you said about the message of it just really hits home.
I don't know what I expected. I think as a New Yorker, I mean, I was here during 9/11. I don't know what I expected either, to see a show that took place around that time. And it's not what you think. It's very uplifting, and the message is so positive. And I mean, sure, I feel this way about all theater, but I especially feel that I wish this show were playing right now.
I'm telling you, we could use a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I mean, just the big hearts and the generous spirit of those Newfoundland. I can't even say it.
Newfoundlanders.
Newfoundland. Thank
Newfoundland. The emphasis is on land.
Great. I was going to skip land altogether. Newfoundlanders. That's not right, Lauren.
Very hard on the accent. It is very difficult.
Oh my God, it's a kooky accent.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it so much.
Amazing. Did you have like a dialect coach?
Oh yeah, and he gave us notes until the very end. He would come visit the show once every couple of months and note us. I mean, I have every single note card he gave me. Like, oh, you're missing that vowel, and your dog is sounding like dog, and yeah, all the things. Yes. We wanted
Are you going to give us a little taste of the accent
no,
right now?
I'm out of practice. Don't make me do it live.
I won't. How dare I? Okay, so you toured for a year, that's fantastic and amazing. Was it your first national tour? I mean,
my first as an adult.
Okay, I see.
My first tour, I was 20. I was 20. I guess technically an adult, but it did not feel like it at the time.
Very different experience going on around the country as a 19-year-old or as a mother of a 19-month-old.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I like that. Thank you. I'm going to steal that line.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I toured with The Sound of Music in 1999. Nice.
Who did you play?
Liesel.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
How dare I even
Richard Chamberlain was the captain. He was wonderful.
So fun. Oh my gosh, that is so fun.
Yeah.
Oh man. Who played Maria?
Meg Tolan.
Okay, yeah, wow.
She was lovely.
And you were Liesel. How beautiful. Did you take a year off of Columbia to go be a national tour star?
I took a year off. My mom cried because she thought I would never graduate.
Okay, great. My mom did cry.
But I did.
I never did graduate.
But I did graduate. It took me a little bit longer, but I went back.
I love that you got a BA in English, that you were like, I'm a very smart person and I'm going to go learn about literature now.
Well, I think it was a combination of things. Both my parents are professors.
Yeah.
And they've been always, since I began, very supportive of my love of the arts and my desire to be in theater, but also very, I wouldn't say concerned, but adamant that I also concentrate on being a well-rounded person.
Absolutely.
And so at 16, when I was applying to colleges, they strongly suggested that perhaps I broaden my horizons. You know, I'd been going to basically what I would consider a college prep school, but taking acting classes, dance classes, singing lessons every single week of my life since I was 5. And I really wanted to go to New York. That was all I cared about. So I thought, well, this is a great compromise. I'll go study English, but I'll go to New York and study English.
And I'll be right there for auditions if any come up.
Which is what happened. I did my first 2 Broadway shows while I was in college. So it worked out.
Incredible. I mean, the fact that you were able to continue with your education is really, it's impressive because it's a lot of work, not only to be a college student, but a lot of work to be in a Broadway show. That's nuts.
I don't remember a lot of my junior year, which was the year I did Parade.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I was in rehearsals for a lot of it and doing almost every class on Mondays, my day off. And then I had one Monday, Wednesday class that during rehearsals I skipped because I found one class on campus that I heard the teacher gave the same lecture both days.
Oh.
I was like, oh, this is ideal for me.
I can skip out of one.
Yeah, like, I don't know why he did that, but this was the urban legend and it was true.
Oh,
and
wow.
So I would go Monday and skip Wednesday, and yeah, so it was like the longest day Monday, and then having to do all my homework and all my papers, and then opening this new Broadway show, which I was in the ensemble, which I thought would be easy, but I also understudied 9 roles.
So what did you understudy Mary and the Factory Girls?
I began understudying just the 3 Factory Girls.
Okay.
And then every adult female in the ensemble, I was the second cover.
Of course, because you were sort of like, I'm young, but not.
No, I was pretty young. I don't think I would have been suited to go on for these roles.
Gotcha.
But it's so funny because now when you talk about things like first cover, second cover, that's not done as much anymore. But in this day and age, it was.
Absolutely.
And I was.
So you were like second cover for the mayor's wife or something like that?
Not the mayor's wife, but close. The nurse.
Yeah.
Which Melanie Vaughn was, and she was like in the original company of Sunday in the Park with George, and like all these people that were just so amazing and had so many credits, and I had to learn their tracks. I was never going to go on, like that was sort of told to me, but I could.
I mean, you never know. I mean, I did Sunset Boulevard for so long that we, so many people missed that we had to do split tracks, and our dance captain / swing had to go on as a man in the ensemble.
Yep.
I mean, nutty stuff happens that you can never really prepare for.
Right. We got to that point in Millie. Parade didn't run long enough. But yes, in Millie there was a day when there were so many of the ensemble women out that we had so many split tracks. And that scene with the Priscilla girls, there's like 7 girls and each of them have a line. And it's all supposed to be, line, 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 line. And there was like 2 girls saying all the lines.
So it's a big solo.
Yeah.
Just a nice little duet in the middle of the scene. Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to say if you have any questions for Megan while we're talking tonight, please write in the chat. We're going to be checking those out, and I want to bring those questions to her because she has such a rich, awesome, experience and history. If you have anything you want to ask her, well, not anything, but we'll get to decide.
I'll let you know if I'll answer.
But we would love to bring you into the conversation. So ask your questions in the chat. We'd love to chat with you. You have a ton of Broadway credits, and you've just named a few of them. Were you also in Diary of Anne Frank while you were in college? Is that the other Broadway show you did while you were at Columbia?
Yeah, Diary of Anne Frank was my first Broadway show. And I was a sophomore in college, and I had auditioned for it several times, didn't get it. And then the understudy for Margot and Meep took an extended vacation. So they were looking for a vacation replacement.
Oh, yeah.
Understudy vacation replacement. So I finally got the job and got the call that it would be a month of work, and it only overlapped during my finals.
Wow.
So I didn't miss any classes, and my teachers were amazing and rescheduled all my finals around my rehearsal schedule.
That's crazy. That was the production with Natalie Portman?
Yes.
Ugh. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I never went on. Never went on.
You got that gig though, and you got that credit.
I will tell you, I will never forget doing an understudy run-through on that Broadway stage. On that set with those actors. I mean, it was the most talented cast, the most talented group of covers. It was such an honor to learn that show. And to be able to do a run-through of it. It didn't matter that it wasn't in front of an audience.
No, absolutely not. That is so cool. What an amazing experience for an 18-year-old sophomore in college. Or anybody, by the way. Just anybody. That's amazing. Well, I can't even believe that is true. Your first Broadway show, a musical starring Natalie Portman.
Not a musical, straight play.
That's what I meant. I meant straight play. Sorry, I misspoke. I 100% meant not musical, but a straight play.
Yep.
And Natalie Portman, and it not messing with school. You could continue on with your studies. I'm sure your parents were so proud. Thrilled and happy. Okay, and then you went on to do things like Thoroughly Modern Millie, which you just spoke of, which so gels right here. By the way, it was my dream to be in Thoroughly Modern Millie. I had many auditions. Didn't book it once.
Lauren, have we talked about me being at your audition? Have we had this conversation?
Yeah, yes. I think we have actually. Okay. What were you the reader at the callback?
I was your reader.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep. Didn't book it though.
You were amazing.
My dream, Megan. I would have loved to have done it with you. That would have been so cool. Oh my God.
We can still do it.
Could we?
Sure.
I have a beautiful filter on here. I look 10 years younger with the filter my husband puts on the camera. No, I'll just say, I'll direct it one day. I love that show so much. It must have been so fun.
It was.
And I know that you and
blast.
Sutton are good friends. Is that where you guys met?
Yes, that's where we met. And then shortly thereafter, maybe a year and a half or so, we did Little Women together, played sisters, and that's where we really became friends. We met during Millie and became close during Little Women.
Incredible. So Little Women, and then Beauty and the Beast in there somewhere as Belle.
Beauty was, I left Millie to do Beauty.
Incredible.
That's what happened. That was my first lead.
And how did that audition come up, and how did, booking that job come up? Just your standard audition at Ripley Greer and you booked it?
Totally standard audition. It was not Ripley Greer. It was, I remember it not being Ripley Greer. It was a studio I did not know well.
Like NOLA or something random?
It was like the 43rd Street, but not Telsey floor.
Gotcha. I know what you're talking
But
about.
not Manhattan Theater Club either. It was like a random floor, like maybe where the Dodgers used to be, or
Okay.
It's like I'm talking in code now. I'll skip that. Anyways,
People who were at least 35 and older know what you're talking about.
So I was just reading the question. What's my favorite audition mishap? It's not this one, but I'll have to think about that.
Oh, good. We'll put it up on the screen later and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. It was just a normal audition. I remember it being the weekend that I went on for Miss Dorothy and Millie. I hadn't been on yet. I was an understudy. And I remember thinking, like, I don't have enough time to work on this material. I'm not off book. I really wanted to have it all memorized. And yeah, just sort of feeling like it was not I was not concentrating enough, And it was just a normal audition. And then I got a call back, and it was a work session. And I remember the resident director telling me to be freer. Like, that was his big note for me, that I was too contained. And really trying to enjoy it, because it's so rare that you're in an audition space and you can just let go. And that's sort of what he was telling me to do. And so I think it was like a work session, and then I had to wait and then go back in and sing for everybody. Then I think the best part of the story is that I went back to Millie, finished my weekend out as Miss Dorothy, and then a couple days later, one of the other ensemble members at Millie said, "I heard the good news that you're going to be Belle." And I was like, huh? What are you talking about? I had not been told. But she was, she had been in Beauty and the Beast. And so she'd heard through the grapevine. So they knew over at the show before I knew.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it was like buzz, like in industry
and so I
buzz.
didn't know if I should be excited or not. Like, if it was real. And I was like, surely I didn't get it. Like, there's just no way that I would be playing Belle. No, it's too much of a dream come true. There's no way.
Oh my
And then
God.
it happened.
That is crazy that's how you heard about it.
Yeah.
And then, was it the same day your agents called and said, okay, you booked it?
It was a couple later.
So you're sitting like, wait, what's happening? That is crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, please tell me that when you found out that you were doing Eponine and Les Mis, it was just that your agents called.
No.
Oh my God. Of course. Okay, let's hear it.
I'm actually not sure who told me, but I'm pretty sure it was not my agents, because that one was a little more complicated that I can't really totally go into.
Fine.
It was another sort of grapevine thing, and there were a bunch of things that had to be done, and it was like a double checking, like they were gonna bump me up, but then they weren't gonna bump me up, and they had to do a final. Let's make sure.
Oh my God.
And so I was already in the company,
Sure.
So it was kind of like I think it's your way thing. And then my agents called. So
I hear you. Listen, I'm going to say my little story that's kind of like that. I'm not going to worry about if I'm offending anybody. But when I was doing Sunset Boulevard, I was in the ensemble. And then when we moved, that was in LA, we moved to Broadway, and I auditioned and got bumped up to one of the covers, to be the second cover, by the way. And then when they were casting the national tour, I was just obsessed. I wanted to play Betty Schaefer so bad. I had gone on Broadway the first week we were open as the second cover, and I was like, I really want to play this role. I was pushing for it really, really hard, and so I went in for the audition for the tour, and I got a call that day, my agent telling me that they were going to cast me, and we were waiting for the official offer. Well, somebody on the producing team had like cold feet about me and retracted the offer.
No.
And then, retracted it. And so for a month I was like, oh, I didn't get it. And I was like moving on. I was doing other things. They called me a month later and they're like, just kidding. We actually do want you to do it. Can you handle that? And I was like,
Nope.
well, now I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm not so sure.
Actually, I was like, sweet, I'll
Yes,
do
please.
it. But it's crazy. Show business is so weird like that. It's such a yo-yo between like, you know, how things happen and what goes into the decisions while they're, you know, putting these casts together.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you know, you'll have people on the other side of the table really rooting for you, and then there's just one person who's kind of like a holdout, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
and they may have just a specific vision in mind.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with you.
Exactly. It's like she has blonde hair. We see a brunette
Yeah.
or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Something
it's not
crazy like
necessarily like we have cold feet about Lauren. It's, oh, but I wanted this.
Yeah, but they might have had cold feet about it. Like, I was not a great soprano, so I was like faking it.
Stop.
I think they were probably like, we can do better. Let's keep looking. No, it's real. I think that's true. I am fine about it. Okay, so just tell me a little bit about getting into Daddy Longlegs, like what that process was like, because obviously you were part of the development from the beginning, and I think a lot of people who are watching, and especially some of my patrons and viewers, you know, don't always know what goes into the creation of a character in a new show like that, and this one had a very specific journey.
Yeah. So I first auditioned for Daddy Longlegs in 2009. 2009, I think. Yeah. It was a co-production. So you had to sign on for 3 theaters at the Rubicon, Theater Works in Palo Alto, and Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park.
Oh.
Those were the first 3, I believe. And the reason it was being set up like that was to help develop the show, right? There would be a rehearsal process before each production, a shortened rehearsal process to put in changes. I knew about the show. I knew John Caird from Les Mis. He directed Les Mis, and he directed Daddy Longlegs. And Paul Gordon, who wrote the music for Daddy Longlegs, I knew him socially. He's friends with a friend of mine.
Right.
And I had auditioned for Jane Eyre when I was like 16.
Long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
by the way, when I was doing Sideshow, before you did the revival, but when I was doing Sideshow was when Jane Eyre was on Broadway, 1997.
Amazing. Yeah.
Long time ago. Anyway.
But I auditioned for the Jane Eyre like before Broadway. It was La Jolla or Toronto.
Oh,
like,
I see.
It was so long before.
Okay.
So Paul we'd had lunch one time, and he gave me a demo CD and from Daddy Longlegs and said, I think you'll like this. And didn't think of me for the show. He just thought I'd like it. I told him I was a big fan of Jane Eyre. And I remember listening to it in the car and thinking, I want to sing these songs one day. Not, I need to play this part, but just give me the chance. Give me the chance to sing them.
Yeah.
And I heard they were auditioning, and I called my agents and said, I really want to be seen for this. Like, here's my chance to just sing the songs just once in an audition room. And they gave me this packet. It was 83 pages, and it had like 6 or 7 songs in it. And they said, pick one.
Okay.
Which was really hard because I wanted to sing all of them.
Right.
And I picked I Couldn't Know Someone Less. And I just loved it. I loved singing it. It wasn't about the job. It was about the chance to sing the song. It was about the chance to dive into that, a monologue. You know, all of the show is monologues.
Yeah.
Talking to the audience. And it's that last monologue that she talks about loving him. And I miss him and miss him and miss him. Like, my favorite part of the show. And I just was so happy. I was so happy I left, and I just thought, well, I'm good. I'm good now.
Yeah.
And Paul called me a couple days later and told me I got it. I shouldn't be telling you this, but you got it. And
that is awesome.
It was the most amazing experience because I have never been as involved in creating a piece, in creating a character, and in creating a show. Just having two people, we were there every step of the way to be able to say, we think this works, we think this doesn't work. Even up until, so we ended up doing these 3 theaters, right? Mm-hmm. Before we made it to New York in 2015, we'd played 14 regional theaters.
That's crazy.
London, and
Chicago?
Canada.
Wow.
Chicago was one of the regional theaters.
Yeah, okay.
And we found out we were going Off-Broadway, and I remember talking to Paul and saying, you know, there's that moment during graduation day, and I feel like there's an emotion missing about the song. And he's like, oh, well, what do you think is missing? And I told him, and he wrote a whole new song in like 3 days, probably 3 hours, knowing him. And it was extraordinary. But like, that's the kind of relationship I got to have with him and John.
That's amazing. That trust and that collaboration. That's what you dream about, isn't it? You know?
Yes, it is.
That's
and so
cool.
I will always treasure that.
Amazing. You were so stellar. And to me, not just in Daddy Longlegs, but across the board, you set a standard for vocals. You know, the beauty of your voice, the strength of your voice is just, to me, it's literally one of the best voices I've ever heard. I think you are so stellar. And I think it's really exciting that we were able to have you here, and you were able to impart that wisdom on our cast for Daddy Longlegs here at our theater, Theatre Raleigh. And I'm so excited to get to hear you sing tonight. Before we go over to the performance moment for Megan, I want to say thank you to your husband, Adam Halpin, because I know he's wrangling your son tonight, so you can be here with us. Thank you, Adam.
He is in bed now, though.
Oh, okay.
Good. I just heard him. Never mind. Like, on cue.
Well, if we hear him, it's fine, because like I always say, Ruby, my dog, barks constantly. She likes to say hello. But, you know, we talked a little bit about how you started young, and I'm sure you did theater as a kid. Do you see Beckett following in you and Adam's footsteps?
It's funny, when he first started singing, Adam and I were like, oh, I don't know about his pitch. It's gotten quite good, though.
Oh, has he? Good. That's hilarious.
And we jokingly say, please don't follow our footsteps.
Right.
Because it's hard. It's a hard industry to be in. But the reason I love being in this industry is because I'm passionate about it. Mm-hmm. So of course, if he's passionate about it, I want that for him.
Yeah.
What I do see in him is a huge love of music. Ugh. And right now, do you know Wallace and Gromit?
Well, yes, I do, and I know you referenced it earlier today.
Yes. So he saw the movie The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which is a Wallace and Gromit movie. I think it's feature length. He saw it a long time ago. We actually don't do so much TV anymore, but there was a period of time where we were doing it. And there's a soundtrack, and it's all instrumental. So now he listens to that soundtrack nonstop, and he can name each song.
What?
He's like, this is Alien Arrival. This is Lula's Powers. This is Back on the Farm. And it's instrumental. There are no words, nothing.
He really hears it.
Yeah, and now he's on to this Little Einstein's playlist, which is just classical music. And he knows all these symphonies by Dvorak. Now
What?
Yeah.
That is incredible. Like, all I took from Little Einstein's is "We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship." Got that. I'm glad it's had staying power, because I do think it's amazing for kids. But
so good.
I'm not sure my daughter took the classical music from that. So I think he indeed has some gifts there.
There's an ear in there, and who knows what that will lead to.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's wonderful. And it's true. It's about what they're passionate about, and us just supporting them and saying, "Here, let me help you fly."
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. Well, I can imagine juggling parenthood and continuing a career as an actress and singer and director, and all the things that you're doing is, it's not easy, I know for sure, but you are doing it beautifully.
Thank you. So are you, Lauren.
Thanks. Well, it gets easier, I'll tell you that much, as they get older and can start doing things for themselves. And my daughter disappears upstairs for hours at a time. I know. I remember when you were here directing Daddy Longlegs, you know, he couldn't swim, and I was like, Megan, the day that my daughter learned how to swim by herself and I didn't have to be in the pool with her, it changed my life. This
summer, he started swimming.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Then the next step is when you get to like sit with your magazine or your iPad while they're just like doing
I'm
their
ready.
thing. Well, let's do a little bit of a reversal, and I think we're ready to hear you sing. So,
okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pass it over to Megan McGinnis for a beautiful 2-song performance. Here she is.
Hi, everybody. So this first song is a Berlin song, Irving Berlin. I love the classics so much. And this song was arranged for me by Alex Gimignani and Ted Firth, and you'll hear Ted on the piano. It's typically really fun to do live because it's a duet between me and Ted on the piano, but you know, times are different now. 2, 3. As a child, I went wild when the band played. How I ran to the man when his hand swayed. Clarinets were my pets, and a slide trombone I thought was simply divine. But today when they play, I could hiss them. Every bar is a jar to my system. But there's one musical instrument that I call mine. I love a piano. I love a piano. I love to hear somebody play upon a piano, a grand piano. It simply carries me. Treat a Steinway. I love to run my fingers o'er the keys, the ivories, and with the pedal. I love to meddle when Paderewski comes this way. I'm so delighted if I'm invited to hear that long-haired genius play. So you can keep your give me a P-I-A-N-O. I love to stop right beside an upright or a high-tone baby grand. When a green tetrazine starts to warble, I grow cold as an old piece of marble. I allude to the crude little party singer who don't know when to pause. At her best, I detest the soprano, but I run to the one at the piano. love to hear somebody play. It simply carries me away. I love to run my fingers over the keys, the ivories, and with the pedal, I love to meddle when Paderewski comes this way. I'm so delighted if I'm invited to hear that long-haired genius play. So you can keep your fiddle and your bow. Give me a P-I-N-O-O-O. I love to stop right beside an upright or a high tone, baby. Oh, it's so fun to sing again. So, as I was saying, I love the classics so much. This is a Gershwin song, and this was arranged for me by Deborah Abramson, and she is also playing the accompaniment. Nothing seemed to matter anymore. Didn't care what I was headed for. Time was standing still. Nothing counted till there came a knock, knock, knocking at the door. Love walked right in and drove the shadows away. Love walked right in and brought my sunniest day. One magic moment, and my heart seemed to know that love said hello. Though not a word was spoken, one look, and I forgot the gloom of the past. One look, and I had found my future at last. One look, and I had found a world completely new. When love walked in with you.
Yay, that's gorgeous. Megan, you are ridiculous. And I'm actually glad that we got a little
What's
bit of
coming?
that next track because, ladies and gentlemen, stick around because she's got one more song we're going to finish up the night with. So don't go anywhere so you can hear her sing one more song tonight. Oh my God, that was incredible. Charlie and I were just here going like, that voice, you're kidding me. It's ridiculous. You're sitting down. I just need everyone to understand you're sitting in a chair and doing that. If it was me, I would be standing up, I'd be squatting, I'd be like bearing down. It's just incredible. Gorgeous, gorgeous. What beautiful songs. Oh my God, I love both of those arrangements. So fun.
They are wonderful. Thank you.
Really good. Okay, so we do have a couple questions. One which you alluded to a little bit earlier from our girl Nat Soto. She wants to know, what is your favorite audition mishap? Do you have one that you could share with us?
Gosh. I mean, I threw my neck out at a Mamma Mia dance call. That was no fun. gosh.
Oh,
I'm
maybe
too old for
Sophie's
this, and
not
I wasn't at the time.
Was Sophie or what? Like you're like, Sophie's not in the cards for me, I guess.
It was one of the friends. I went in for one of the friends. I was like, I'm so into this. Oh, yeah. Gosh. I mean, no, I haven't had super big things go wrong. I mean, I mess up lyrics. You know, people's cell phones go off, but nothing so devastating. And I think that's actually great advice now that I'm teaching a lot about auditions, that they're your time. So if there's a mishap, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Right? You start over, you go on. Now, when you're in front of a live audience, those are the funny ones, or those are the heartbreaking ones, because there's no do-over.
Right. It's not in progress still.
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, all right, maybe I'll ask you about your favorite onstage mishap in a minute. So Jeff has asked, he says he's your Seattle plane buddy. What was the most memorable co-star that you've worked with that had a profound, lasting influence on your career?
Oof.
You'll say Adam, of course, your husband.
Obviously. You know, what's really interesting about Adam, we've done a couple of shows together. Doing Daddy Longlegs together was the most significant two-person show with your husband. It's a lot. And not only was he wonderful, but incredibly patient with me, because it was definitely my show. I'd done it for 7 years, and he was coming in with 2 weeks of rehearsal, and I was basically just, vomiting direction onto him, which he happily accepted. I mean, John was there to direct too, but he left, and Adam was still there asking questions, and all that to say, I never watched the live stream that we did. That's on BroadwayHD. Davenport, one of our producers, an event a couple months ago, and he asked me and Adam to watch it live and comment on it.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I really don't want to do that, because I don't want to see it. I don't enjoy watching myself. But I watched it. And what was so great is I got to watch Adam.
Aww.
Because I didn't get to watch him. He's upstage with me. We don't really interact that much in the show. And he was so wonderful. So that was a tangent.
He is so good. You're right. It's true.
There is not an actor who has not influenced me or affected me. I feel like I learn from every single person. I love standing in the wings and watching and learning. There's so much I have to still learn. Watching Austin Pendleton in The Diary of Anne Frank was probably that first experience where you're everything, and he was off stage for the first half hour or so, and I got to really talk to him, and he was always so kind to me. Watching Sutton and Millie, I remember seeing her in the run-through in the rehearsal studio, because I had another friend in the show, and he invited me to the run, and I was like, who's this?
Yeah.
What is she able to, how can she do this? And then being in the show with her and really watching how she did it, and learning from her, and watching Harriet Harris, and I just like being open to what people are doing around me.
Yeah.
And changing my performance based on them too.
Sure. And that's what a good actor does, right? Just react to someone else.
And also being influenced and affected by how they are off stage.
100%.
Watching Sutton lead a company was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was impressive to me.
That is so important. I think sometimes it's forgotten. When you are a star of a show, you set the bar on what the energy and attitude of that sort of cast spirit will be. It's such an important part. Oh, that's really cool. That's a really nice thing to say about her. She did unbelievable stuff. Her bravery in that show was mind-blowing. And I can only imagine to get to watch it up close must have been so exciting.
Yeah, and to see her do it 8 times a week.
I know, have the stamina for that.
Sustaining that.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Which is another talent, right? Learning from that.
Yeah, so much, so much. And I'm sure you have had that impact on people as well. So that's the circle of life, right?
Yeah.
What we give, we get, and so on. That's so cool. So nobody asked this on the stream, but my husband wanted me to ask you how it was to direct a show that you had been so synonymous with, and you had been through the 7 years of development. How was it for you to then direct someone else and be able to see someone else creating this character?
Easy. Really, because my fear going into directing was I don't want to let my actors down.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, I'm not going to, because I know the show. I know this, That was my speech to myself. So it was never, I don't feel possessive about Jerusha in that way. I feel actually like, here she is. I did my work. And
Yeah.
I hope you can benefit from what I left on the page. And now I'm here too.
Yeah.
So I get to tell you more things.
It's awesome.
And that was such a joy. So I felt confident, and I think that's what they needed from me.
100%. And you did, it looked very different from what you guys had done Off-Broadway and in your other incarnations. So you really brought your own version of it as well, which
Yeah.
I thought was really special and great for Hillary and Max, who were our actors. It was exciting for them to get to do it with you because of the knowledge and because of the history.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're an incredible director, great communication with actors, and lots of support and confidence inspiring. So I can't wait to have you back directing something else.
Lauren, I started a list today. I'm going to be honest.
Well, you send that list my way and let's
Okay.
talk. So I wanted to play a little game with you before we hear one more song from Megan McGinnis.
I'm so nervous.
Don't be nervous. I didn't even warm up, so I'm going to start by saying this is going to be sort of a name that tune, a little bit like finish this musical phrase, and it's sort of like the Megan McGinnis career, a name
Okay.
that tune.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't warm up, so pardon my crunchy vocals. Okay, so here's the first song, and let's see if Megan can finish this musical phrase. I love him, but when the night is over.
He is gone. The river's just a river.
Yes, ma'am. See, we're off to a good start, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is a show that Megan and I both did in different versions. Like a clown whose tears cause laughter.
Okay, just a little
Trapped.
background.
Trapped inside a center ring. Nothing?
Can I just explain how quickly I learned this show?
Yes, you can explain it, but you don't have to. I don't remember anything. Once I'm done with the show, it's gone. Bye. That is hilarious.
So I was hired when they were already in tech. And I had to learn both Daisy and Violet in like 10 days.
Nope. And then it was a short run, so did you even have the opportunity to go on?
Oh yeah, I went on for Violet 7 times.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. So
Yeah.
I just sang Daisy's part, so not as much practice.
Nope.
Which I was the cover for Daisy, and I went on all the time.
But see, also when I went on, the absolute fear, like that's the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life, I would
Sure.
say. Going on, 0 rehearsal.
Yeah,
I did not have a put in. You didn't either, right? When you went on?
did not have a put in.
And I felt like I barely knew the show. I mean, I knew it, but
Sure.
it's still such a blur to me.
I know. Well, I'm gonna just change slightly what I said. I had to put in because they canceled the show because they were worried I wouldn't be able to do it. But some people stayed, so there were like 50 or 60 people in the audience that night. to watch it. A lot of friends or whatever, people who had tickets wanted to stay, and they did. So it did feel like a show, but they had canceled and returned people's money because they were like, hey, this girl has no idea what she's doing. She's never had a rehearsal. And I went on, and it's not just like doing a role. You're literally cheek to cheek with another gal the entire time. So your movements have to be in sync. And I had not ever done that before.
And those fast changes were like another show.
Hey, Jess. Oh my God, like 15-second changes.
I remember writing my notes. It was like, right shoe first, hoses out for the left foot. Like, it was so choreographed.
That's nutso. That's crazy.
Yeah. So sorry, I don't know it.
That's okay. At least I did. Okay, what about this? I'll turn my head. He's got no words to say. His eyes get big.
And I want to run away.
That'll do. That'll do. Ha 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 ha. No, that's good. That's great. You did it.
Adam is going to make fun of me.
Hey, you were 19. We won't say how many years ago that was, but
What is it?
that's Parade.
Parade.
That's from Parade. It's the Factory Girls from Parade.
Yep.
Okay. This next one is, okay, hold on. Some things are meant to be.
Some things are meant to be.
Oh, excuse me. Some things are meant to be. Go ahead.
The clouds moving fast and free. The sun on a silver sea, depends on what verse you're singing. A sky that's bright and blue.
Yes, you got that one.
Okay.
Okay, how about this one? I was told.
Every day in my childhood, even when we grow old.
Yes.
Home should be where the heart is. Oh,
Keep going.
never were words so true.
Oh.
My heart's far, far away. Yeah. So
Keep going. Keep going.
always do what I give.
Oh my God, so good. Belle who belts her face off. How about this? Welcome to the Rock.
Okay. We say that a lot.
An Islander.
I'm an Islander. I'm an Islander.
And just over and over and over and over. Yep. Okay. What about this? Gimme, gimme.
That thing called love. I want it.
I love it. Oh my God. Here I am, St. Valentine. I could just keep going on and on. Okay,
That's good. Keep
that
going,
was
keep
it.
going.
You passed. I think you got a solid A on that one.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, if every point had was worth, if each song was worth 15 points, you nailed it.
Oh, great. All right.
Okay, we have a couple more questions.
Great.
Let's see. She really enjoys watching you perform. Any tips for a young actor and actress for stage fright? Because this person has a lot. Sarah, sorry, girl, but she's going to have some good advice for you.
So you know what? I think of nerves. First of all, I get nervous too. So I don't think that's something that necessarily goes away. There are probably some performers who don't have nerves. I'm not one of those. I think of nerves as energy, and it is up to us to decide if that energy is good or bad. If it's bad, then it's stage fright. If it's good, then it's energy you can use on stage. They're just butterflies, right? I mean, it's reframing it in your brain.
That's awesome. It's excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's very good. That's very good advice. Sarah, keep doing what you love, girl. Okay, Celine loves. Okay, so I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses on. Moved to New York a year ago, and I wish I could move here. I can't read at all, you guys. Is it possible to see you again on Broadway? Is what she's asking.
Well, we're all waiting for Broadway to reopen. So we'll just keep putting our money into the arts as much as we can with small theaters, all across the country, and hopefully we'll get through this pandemic and Broadway will be back and I will start auditioning again and you'll see me on Broadway again. That's
Absolutely. The short answer is Megan will have a long career ahead of her on Broadway. So no worries there. You will get to see her on Broadway again for sure. But in the meantime, why don't we hear one more song before we wrap up our night? Are you ready for that, Megan? Is she frozen?
Yeah, I'm gonna that.
Okay.
Since you
Here
all
she is,
know,
ladies and gentlemen.
this is The Secret of Happiness from Daddy Longlegs.
Gorgeous, gorgeous applause all across the country. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Megan. I've sure loved talking to you and catching up, and I know our audience has really loved getting to hear you sing. You are a gorgeous woman inside and out, and with a beautiful voice. I really appreciate you sharing your talent with us tonight.
Thanks for letting me be here. Please, everybody, please, I hope you can give to Theatre Raleigh. Really, I just love this organization so much, and I'm just relieved you're still here, really.
Thank you for saying that.
Bringing us joy, and that is so important in this time.
Thank you very much. I mean, we do take it very seriously. We love our community, and being here and on the other side of this pandemic is very important to me. We have a great community, so thank you guys for supporting, and thank you, Megan, for supporting us with your talent and with you coming and doing shows here, and I will ask you again. Send me that list.
I will.
But in the meantime, please be safe up there in New York, and tell your family hello, and thank you for, tell them thank you for allowing you to come on with us tonight. All right, we'll see you soon. Everybody say goodbye to Megan. Thank you, Megan. Love you, sweet girl. Bye. So we have a great show next week too. We're going to just keep bringing amazing performances to you here on Living Room Live. Next week we are going to be back here in my living room with local icon, founder of Theater in the Park, Ira David Wood III, and a special performance by Supriya Jaya. Here's a little taste of what you're going to see next week. So don't miss that next Monday at 7:30 right here on YouTube. And we announced it last week on this show, but we are adding a new broadcast to our canon on our virtual experiences here at Theatre Raleigh. It's called Character Building, which is going to be focusing more on the craft of making art and what it takes for that star to get where they ultimately have become. And our first guest is Jeremy Jordan. We are really excited to have him with us. That'll be Sunday, October 11th, right here on YouTube. Like I said, this online show is geared towards the education and understanding of what it goes in to be an artist and the artist process. It's going to be about a 45-minute conversation with me and the special guest. Then I'm going to invite 3 people onto the broadcast to ask Jeremy their question and get to have a conversation with him. So if you are out there, you're an aspiring artist or a lifelong learner or want to ask Jeremy Jordan a question, please email info@theaterraleigh.com with your question and a 50-word bio so we know who you are. And we're going to be choosing those 3 participants this week. So everybody email info@theaterraleigh.com. We'll be thinking about you for Jeremy Jordan's episode, and then we have Ariana DeBose coming up afterwards on November 15th. So go ahead and send us your questions and bio. We'd love to have you on the broadcast so you can talk to the stars. Okay, that's it for us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate your support of live theater. Like Megan said, thank you for helping us stay alive during this time. Donate to Theatre Raleigh or any arts organization that you love and that you care about. And of course, subscribe to Theatre Raleigh. And we'll see you online soon. In the meantime, go vote, wear a mask, be good to each other, be kind, and we will see you very soon. Love to you all. Good night.